Governors Nasser El-Rufai of Kaduna, Abdullahi Sule Nasarawa, Muhammad Inowa Yahaya of Gombe, Maimala Buni of Yobe, Abubakar Badaru of Jigawa, Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger, Yahaya Bello of Kogi, Simon Lalong of Plateau, Biodun Oyebanji of Ekiti, and Sani Bello of Niger. While governors of Imo and Katsina states, however, had some representatives in attendance. The APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu, in his opening remarks, stated that the essence of the meeting is not to sit in judgment against anyone with regards to happenings in the country.
You will recall the recent developments that have necessitated the need for this invitation. We do not want to sit in judgment of anybody or anybody's. That was going on today in the country as it affects our party. I thought the best to do is to get all those who are holding forth in their positions and who are elected to the party to get together and have some interaction so that we can have a better appreciation, a better understanding of what situation we are in. That is the essence of this invitation. And it is my pleasure to welcome you sincerely to have this interaction. Thank you all.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured Nigerians that the February 25 presidential and National Assembly polls will hold nationwide, despite the cash crunch and protests in some parts of the country. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu has allayed fears, saying the Commission is working closely with the CBN and security agencies. On the pockets of protests around the country, the INEC Chairman said it is a security matter and security agencies in the country have promised a secure environment for elections to hold peacefully nationwide. In the meantime, ahead of the February 25 presidential elections and the National Assembly elections, the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has redeployed 30 state controllers and 11 assistant controllers general across the country. Affected by the fresh posting are 11 assistant controller general in charge of the various zones, as well as 30 controllers posted to new states. A statement by the Immigration Public Relations Officer, Tony Akuneme, the states affected were mainly those that bordered Nigeria with neighboring countries: Yobe, Adamawa, Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, Oyo, Lagos, Seme-Border, and Cross River states. Other states getting new controllers include Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Plateau, Bauchi, FCT, Nasarawa, Edo, Bayelsa, Rivers, Anambra, and Enugu, among others. Noting that all the deployments are with immediate effect, the NIS spokesperson said the service places a very high premium on the critical role of its personnel in the success of general elections. Staying with politics, the Police Service Commission PSC has deployed over 360 of its staff to monitor the conduct of police officers on election duties in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory ahead of the 2023 general elections. The PSC also appointed national, zonal, and state coordinators for the exercise, while warning that it will sanction any police officer involved in any form of misconduct before, during, or immediately after the elections. The spokesperson for the Commission, Ike Chukwani, said dedicated telephone numbers for the public to report misconduct or exemplary behavior of police officers on duty have been provided to assist Nigerians play a major role in enthroning civil participation in election policing. Let's now turn our attention to Ondo State, where the state government has declared February 24, 2023 as midterm break for the second term of 2023 academic session of public and private schools in the state. According to the statement to the state government, the decision was necessitated by the forthcoming elections scheduled to commence on Saturday, 25 February 2023. The Director of School Services of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Akindele Ige, in a statement said schools will resume on Monday, 27 February 2023. As Nigerians go to the polls on Saturday, 25 February, to elect new set of leaders to pilot the affairs of the country for another 4 years, to avert cases of unrest that usually characterize elections in Nigeria, Better Nigeria Intercessory Prayer Group gathered in Akure to offer prayers for a smooth, free and credible election. We hope to bring you that report in the course of the bulletin. The 3 weeks training for about 600 facilitators of At-Risk Children Project, ARCP, across 18 local government areas of the state has come to an end. Wife of Ondo State Governor and Chairperson ARCP Advisory Committee in the state, Mrs. Betty Anyanwa Keredolu, charged the facilitators to translate the skills and knowledge gained to the target groups in their various communities. Government House correspondent Omoriala Winji has details.
Training for about 600 youth facilitators selected from across 18 local government areas of Ondo State. The youth facilitators will in turn mentor vulnerable children to be self-reliant as part of project's effort to address the high number of out-of-school children and other associated risks against youths and children in the state. Wife of Ondo State Governor, who doubles as chairperson of the project's advisory committee, Mrs. Betty Anyanwa Keredolu said, making an impact and responding to the peculiarities of the targeted group is key to achieving the set goals of the ACP. She commended Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for his political will to make life better for the less privileged and charged participants to translate the skill and knowledge gained to the target groups in their various communities.
Youthful energy, that's true, and that was why Arakore, your talk and do governor, strongly felt that you must be put to work. You must utilize this youthful energy. Like I said the last time, you are the future of the state and the country at large. So congratulations once more. We'll see changes in your community. And are we together in this? Please, go home, go back in peace, and do the needful and make your governor proud.
Special Advisor to Governor on Gender and Secretary of the ACP Advisory Committee, Olamide Falana, expressed confidence in the participants to groom and mentor vulnerable children using the knowledge gained during the capacity building program.
They've gone through knowledge about basic digital literacy. They've gone through various vocational skills building. And I must say that it's a very rich bouquet of knowledge for them. And I make bold to say that this crop of leaders, these young men and women who are here, are not half-baked but fully facilitators.
Other dignitaries at the event encouraged the participants to be good representative of the state.
You must take this back to your local government and make sure you impart the knowledge you get here on those that are going to change.
I want you to go back, plan, and take up your own life from there. I can see millionaires blessing from this.
For the trainees, the goal is to put to use the knowledge acquired to change the future of the state. About 600 facilitators and 18 coordinators attended the training on special modules and skill acquisition, including child protection, ICT, building, aquaculture, digital training, among others, including presentation of certificates to the trainees. Omoriola Hungwiji, Osrc News.
Now taking updates on the new Naira redesign policy, the Kaduna State government has directed its ministries, departments and agencies to ensure that the revenue collection agents accept payments made in all denominations of the old and new Naira notes. In a statement, the Special Advisor on Media and Communications to Governor Nasser El-Rufai, Muyiwak Adekeye, said the directive is in line with the subsisting order of the Supreme Court. While the statement noted that the laws of Kaduna State do not allow personnel of government agencies to be involved in cash collection of revenues, it however said that collection agents authorized by state government agencies who do offer citizens a route for cash payment are expected to comply with the subsisting court order. Elsewhere, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has filed a lawsuit against President Muhammadu Buhari over the directive banning the use of old 500 and 1,000 Naira banknotes, contrary to the interim injunction granted by the Supreme Court that the old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes remain legal tender. In the suit, SERAP is asking the court to determine whether President Buhari's directive banning the 500 and 1,000 Naira banknotes is not inconsistent and incompatible with the constitutional duties to obey decisions of the Supreme Court and oath of office. SERAP is also asking the court for a declaration that President Buhari's directive banning the use of old 500 and 1,000 Naira banknotes is a fundamental breach of Section 287, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, and his constitutional oath of office, and therefore unconstitutional, unlawful, null and void. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on African Union AU member countries to strengthen early warning systems to rein in conflicts in the continent. The president also urged all AU member states to ratify the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA agreement. Nigeria's position and interventions on these issues were conveyed by the president during separate meetings at the ongoing 36th AU summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The summit, which is meeting under the theme Acceleration of the African Continent Free Trade Area AfCFTA implementation, was a key opportunity for the Nigerian delegation led by President Buhari to emphasize that it has fully embraced the spirit of the AfCFTA, having signed, ratified and deposited the instrument at the African Union Commission. The president also called on member states that have not yet ratified the agreement to do so. You're watching the news at 7. We'll go on a break now. When we return, we'll serve you more stories. Please stay with us.
Every day, life presents hopes, dreams, and challenges. Challenges that can become successes with a little help. Because a little help can empower you to go from despair to celebration. A little help can keep you going until the race is won. A little help can turn bundles of anxiety into a bundle of joy. And with Glow Data, you get much more than just a little help. You get the biggest data deals in town to make every day glow with small wins and big wins. Dial *777# to select your Glow Data plan.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 7 live on OSRC television. You can also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on our Facebook page OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Now to the rest of the news. Fiwashare Girls Grammar School in Akure, the Ondo State capital, played host to dignitaries from far and near as Mrs. Toyin Adegbenro, wife of former Commissioner for Health in Ondo State, late Dr. Wahab Adegbenro, marked her 50th birthday. Dignitaries at the event, including family members and friends, colleagues and associates, eulogized her good character. Omoriola Ugbenje reports that wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, also graced the occasion.
Born 50 years ago in Ijebu North local government area of Ogun State into the family of Okewo of Okeshokpe, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Adegbenro decked in a colorful attire and exuding joy, expressed appreciation to God for divine favor over the past years despite the obstacles and challenges he had encountered.
I don't want to get to repeat those mistakes I've made over the years. And other than learning from my mistakes, I have also decided to put more smiles on the faces of people. The more smiles you put on people's faces, the more fulfilled you get.
A glorious entry it was into the venue of the event in company of friends. The hall was filled to the brim as eminent personalities from within and outside Ondo State graced the event. The mathematics teacher, according to them, was an embodiment of love, grace, brilliance, bold and open-minded, and has through her profession and lifestyle touched many lives positively.
On behalf of where I'm from, we're very grateful to the celebrator today, and we wish her many happy returns. She's always like why you call her that? These are the next thing is that we share our is. Very conscious. She's outspoken. She's kind to reports.
Relatives also praised her kind-heartedness, generosity, and human relations. Also present on this remarkable day is the mother of the celebrant, who said her child deserves to be happy and celebrated.
I've been on top of the world for this to happen while I'm still alive.
Wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu and a guest of honor at the event coordinated the cutting of the celebrant's cake.
There is freedom of expression. Sometimes we are kind of measured. We all want to talk. And they will say, actually, why are you talking? Get involved. And that's exactly what they get to do. She says it that it is an award. She gets the passion of social media.
Dignitaries present were also entertained with food and drinks, while gifts were presented to the celebrants. Omoriola Ugbenje, Osrc News.
As Nigerians get set to go to the polls on Saturday, 25th February to elect new set of leaders to pilot the affairs of the country for another 4 years, in order to avert cases of unrest that usually characterize elections in Nigeria, Better Nigeria Intercessory Prayer Group gathered in Akure to offer prayers for a smooth, free and credible election. Joy Pius has details.
Statistics show that over 1,149 persons, including INEC employees and security officers, were killed in the 3 elections held in 2011, 2015 and 2019 in Nigeria. The bulk of these casualties were recorded during post-election violence, a pattern unpalatable for democratic growth. Poised to redirect the trend in the 2023 general elections, Better Nigeria Intercessory Prayer Group gathered to pray for peaceful polls and divine intervention from God. The interdenominational group also interceded for an election outcome that will promote righteousness, justice, fairness, and equity in Nigeria. Some of the intercessors believe Nigeria will overcome its leadership challenges if God's will prevail in her affairs.
The focus is to pray for peaceful, free and fair election in Nigeria, so that the right person that the people want and God wants will emerge without rigging. That is the motivation or the inspiration we have while we gather. We expect that by this prayer God will overturn what the enemy has said, what the enemy has written contrary to this election, that there will be no war, there will be no killing, there will be no bloodshed. The elections will go free and fair, and the person that God wants will emerge eventually.
We don't want violence, we don't want bloodshed, we don't want trouble. And then we want the election to go peacefully, to be free and fair.
We are gathered here because there's a problem in the land, and we have no other power than the power of God. So when we cry, we believe that God will answer and change the situation. A change will occur in this land and righteousness will reign. Because right now, corruption is everywhere. But God will change it and there will be righteousness. That is my expectation.
Let all Nigeria be praying now. Every Nigerian that loves this country, we must all be in a state of prayer, so that the election will be better. So what we want it to be good, we want it to be better for us. So we have to take everything to God. It is God that has the ability and the power to give us a land that we want. I mean, a Nigeria of our dream.
There will be no bloodshed, there will be no crisis. Then we have told God that there will be no rigging of the election. So our expectation is that this prayer will be answered in the course of this coming election. My counseling is that every Christian should vote. It is our civic right, and then as they go, they should not be engaged in any fight, so that there be no. We are for peace, and Christianity stands for peace, so that there should be no fighting on election.
After counting your vote, go home peacefully. Don't buy votes, don't sell votes, so do everything peacefully.
The prayer group has no political affiliation, but was motivated by the role of the church in nation building. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Moving on to the foreign scene, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has warned China against providing lethal support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine and condemns the violation of United States airspace by an alleged Chinese spying balloon as he held rare talks with Beijing's top diplomat Wang Yi. The meeting of the two senior officials happened late on Saturday on the sidelines of a global security conference in Munich, Germany, just hours after Wang scolded Washington as hysterical in a running dispute over the U.S.'s downing of the suspected Chinese spy balloon.
But what I can also tell you is this was an opportunity to speak very clearly and very directly about the fact that China sent a surveillance balloon over our territory, violating our sovereignty, violating international law. And I told him quite simply that that was unacceptable and can never happen again. We're, of course, not the only ones on the receiving end of these surveillance balloons. More than 40 countries have had these balloons fly over them in recent years, and that's been exposed to the world.
A weather balloon collecting weather information certainly can have
military use. So I think it's very unclear here. And I think it's also important to point out that certainly the U.S. complaining about this violation of sovereignty does sound a little bit hypocritical. I mean, we go back decades with the U.S. engaging in this kind of alleged conduct all around the world. So I think we really should take this with a...
Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the country will not allow Iran to obtain nuclear weapons nor allow it to entrench on its northern border. Netanyahu spoke at the weekly cabinet meeting but did not refer directly to the Israeli airstrike on Syria's capital, Damascus, that killed 15 people early today.
איראן מנסה לפגוע בלי הרף במדינת ישראל ובאזרחיה באשר הם במקומות שונים בעולם. ההתקפות של איראן לא ירפו את ידינו. לא נאפשר לאיראן להשיג נשק גרעיני ולא נאפשר לה להתבסס בגבולנו הצפוני. אנחנו עושים הכל ונעשה הכל כדי להגן על אזרחינו, ואנחנו מגיבים בעוצמה על ההתקפות נגדנו.
Moving on to sports, Sunshine Stars Football Club of Akure have moved to the second position on the Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL Group B table following a 1-0 win over Wiki Torres of Bauchi. Samson Olashukwu got the only goal of the game from a header in the 57th minute of the encounter at Ondo State Sports Complex. The win takes Sunshine Stars tally to 15 points from 9 games, with 9 to go in the season. The NPFL program will now proceed on a 3-day week break and resume on the 12th of next month, with Sunshine Stars locking horns with Wiki in Bauchi. To round up the news tonight, here again are the major stories. Ahead of Saturday's presidential poll, the All Progressives Congress APC chairman Abdullahi Adamu has met the governors and leadership of the party at a political roundtable in Abuja. We also told you that the Ondo State government has declared Friday the 24th midterm break for the second term of 2023 academic session of public and private schools. The decision was necessitated by Saturday's presidential election. The Ondo State government has equipped no fewer than 600 facilitators with life skills for at-risk children project. And from the foreign scene, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has warned China against providing support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and as well condemned the violation of United States airspace by a Chinese balloon. And that's it on the news at 7. Thank you so much for your time. Good evening.